For the last 5 years, I've been on a mission to achieve financial independence. After spending the majority of my 20s working hard to lay a foundation for myself for the type of life I wanted by building my businesses, buying a house, selling that house and buying another house, staying debt-free, learning to invest, and studying the FIRE movement, I'm now in my early 30s and working towards hopefully being able to retire from full-time work sometime in the next few years. I think that this is a dream that a lot of people would chase if they believed it was possible. But they don't think it is. And they're right. The entire idea of financial independence hinges on two main ideas. Number one, being that your living expenses are low enough that they can be entirely or mostly sustained by your investments. And number two, being that you have investments. Being that you are actually taking that excess money and saving and investing it for your future. And well, for most people, neither of those things are true. When 78% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck and more than 50% can't even cover a $1,000 emergency without going into debt, how is anybody supposed to retire ever, let alone early? But what if I told you that there is one thing above all else that is doing the most damage to your finances? One thing that is sabotaging your ability to get ahead, to save for your future, and to ultimately live a better life. And no, it's not your daily Frappuccino or your avocado toast, or even that Netflix subscription that you meant to cancel 100 times now, but you should probably go do that. It's your car. Yeah, I know, this is the hot take that nobody wants to acknowledge, it's the elephant in the room that nobody wants to talk about, but your car payment could very well be the single biggest reason you're broke, and it could even be costing you your retirement.
La 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 la, I am not listening, la 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 la.
See, when it comes to cars, there are a few things you need to understand. Number one is that cars are depreciating assets, which means that the more you use them and the older they get, the more value they lose. Compare this to something like a house or stocks, which tend to go up in value over time, and you might understand why a car is not really the best place to park your money. Number two is that they cost you money to use and maintain. Like, not only do they lose value as they get older, but you have to pay for things like gas, insurance, maintenance, and repairs. And generally speaking, the newer and fancier a car is, and the more bells and whistles it has, the more things can potentially break on it, and the more expensive it is to repair, not to mention to insure. And number three is that no one gives a shit about your car. Now, of course, we all need transportation. That's a given. We all have to get back and forth to work, to run errands, and generally just to live life. And for most of us, at least here in North America, having a car is the easiest way to do that. But I'm gonna let you in on a little secret, okay? And this is just between you and me, so don't tell anybody what I'm about to tell you. But every single car, regardless of the make, model, color, or price, does the exact same thing.
Holy fucking shit.
Like, you know those $100,000 Teslas that everybody seems to have nowadays? So, you know how you can like get one and then get into it and start it and then drive it to your job or whatever? This is going to completely blow your mind, but if you get a $5,000 to $10,000 Honda Civic, you can do the exact same thing. That's like crazy, right? And for anyone who's gonna go, oh, there's no such thing as a $5,000 to $10,000 Honda Civic anymore. What do you call this? Or this? Or this? Or this? Yeah, put that in your pipe and smoke it, okay? And now, in all fairness, if you have $100,000 lying around like it's nothing, if that's just chump change to you and you wanna take it and spend it all on a car, then all the power to you, I guess. But for everyone else who would need a car loan to be able to afford a $25,000 or $30,000 or $50,000 car, by choosing to take out that loan and go into debt to buy that car, you are quite literally throwing away your opportunity to achieve financial freedom. The average new car payment in the US is now over $700 a month. The average used car payment is over $500 a month, and in either situation, the average car loan length is 6 years. That means that for every month that you're spending $500 to $700 on a car payment, That's $500 to $700 less that you can actually save and invest for your future. And if, like a lot of people, the amount of money that you're saving for retirement is zero or close to zero, then that is a particularly big problem. $700 a month invested every month for 6 years comes out to nearly $70,000. That $70,000 could go towards bettering your life, but most people would rather have a brand new car than financial stability, which is a really weird flex when you think about it. And it gets even worse when you think about the fact that most people don't just keep their car once it's paid off and keep driving it. Instead, they take that car and they often trade it in before the loan is even done and roll negative equity into another bigger loan, getting themselves further into debt. Or as soon as they finish paying off their loan, they go and buy a new car with a new loan all over again because now their current car, which is paid off and could be driven for free basically, is old and ill. But if instead you decided to just buy an older, cheaper car in cash and drive it for 10 years, and during that 10 years you paid yourself $700 a month every single month into an investment account, by the end of that 10 years you'd have $142,000, which is more than enough to buy a nicer, newer car outright if you actually care to, and you'd still have a whole bunch of money left over when all was said and done. Every time I mention investing in a video, I get a ton of questions about how to invest and where to invest and what to invest in. Personally, I do my investing with an app called moomoo, who was also kind enough to sponsor this video. Moomoo is an all-in-one stock trading app, which is available both here in Canada and in the US, and when it comes to trading stocks and ETFs, they have some of the lowest fees around. By using moomoo to invest within a registered account, you can benefit from tax advantages while your money compounds and grows. For new moomoo users in Canada, signing up with my link in the description box down below and depositing $100 into your account will give you an instant bonus of $50 for free. That's free money, and you can get an Apple gift card worth up to $1,200. And new moomoo users in the US who sign up with my link and make a deposit will receive up to 15 free stocks, plus a whopping 8.1% limited time APY on cash in their account, and a transfer in bonus of up to $300. Money you save can be used to invest in high dividend stocks to earn a steady passive income. With Moomoo's high dividend ranking list, you can easily find stocks that pay as high as 6 to 8% for some of that sweet passive dividend income. So just click the link in the description box down below, and thank you to Moomoo for sponsoring this video. $500 a month invested every month from the age of 20 to 50 comes out to over $1 million. But if you're one of the millions of people out there who have a car note, but no emergency fund, no retirement savings, and really no money in the bank to speak of, then congratulations, your car is fucking you. And you're letting it. This is obviously part of a bigger conversation and one that I've touched on in previous videos, but it is one of the most common and truly one of the most obscene examples of choosing fashion over function, of choosing aesthetics over security, and it doesn't make any sense. Everybody likes nice things, but things that hold you back from living your best life are not actually nice things, even if they're shiny and pretty to look at. It's quite bizarre to me how much society and the media overall teaches us to fixate on eliminating really small, inconsequential purchases while completely ignoring the bigger picture. Like, spending $6 a day at Starbucks is $180 a month, which, to be fair, is a lot of money to spend on terrible coffee. But if you're hitting up Starbucks every single day in a paid-for car, then compared to the average, you're still gonna come out smelling like roses.
Everything's coming up Millhouse.
I would also point out that somebody who actually likes Starbucks could make the argument that their daily latte makes them happier and actually improves their life and adds value to their life. In which case I would say maybe get yourself a nice quality home espresso machine and learn to make good coffee, but that's just me being a hipster. But the point is that driving a 2023 or 2024 model of car as opposed to a 2015 or 2016 model car doesn't actually improve your life or add value to your life in any way, especially if you're in debt for it. Not to mention the fact that when you're in the car and driving it, you can't even see what it looks like on the outside, so who really cares? More and more every day, it seems like we're hearing about wealth disparity, about the ever-growing gap between the haves and the have-nots, about the disappearing middle class. And we could have a really long-winded, in-depth conversation about this, where we talk about everything from wages to housing to interest rates to regressive government policies. But we'd be amiss to not at least start the conversation talking about the things that we can control individually. And that's how we spend and manage the money that we do have. Anytime that I'm making a purchase over about $100, rather than just looking at it as the cost that I'm paying in that moment, I like to look at it through the lens of cost per use or total lifetime cost. My current car that you guys just saw is a 2013 Toyota RAV4 that I bought pre-owned back in 2017 for about $17,000 cash. That means that I've driven it for about 7 years so far, and I have plans to keep it for at least 5 more, meaning that I will own this car in total for at least 12 years. Dividing $17,000 up over 12 years of expected ownership means that this car is costing me just over $1,400 a year to own. Compare that to a $500 a month car payment, which comes out to $6,000 a year, and just from that alone, that savings of $4,500 is money that I can put towards my goal of financial independence. And for anyone who's gonna say, yeah, but you know, old cars have problems and they cost a lot of money to fix. No, they don't. Not if you don't buy a turd. In the 7 years that I've owned this car so far, I have had 0 repairs done on it. Obviously, I do the regular maintenance stuff, so I get my oil changed, I've had my brakes done a few times, I changed the air filters recently, but I haven't had a single thing break on it. Also worth noting is that my insurance is about 50% cheaper than it would be if I was driving a newer, more expensive model. And no, it's not just luck that I haven't had problems, because previous to this, the very first car I ever owned was a 2000 Acura EL, which is basically just a Honda Civic, which I bought in 2011, so it was 11 years old. I paid $3,900 for it and drove it for 5 full years, again without a single issue, until eventually the bottom rusted out and, you know, low cars in Canadian winters are not a great match. But still, I put no money into it beyond basic maintenance, and over the 5 years that I had it, it cost me about $780 a year to own, which is roughly what people are now spending on one car payment every single month, which is wild. And just for the record, when my RAV4 does eventually die, you can bet your ass that I'm gonna go and buy another pre-owned Toyota or Honda that I'm gonna pay for in cash, and it's gonna be under $20,000. Ultimately, you are a free agent over your own life, and you get to make your own choices. But the question I always ask is, are you actually using that agency? Are you actually looking at every side of a decision and then going with the choice that makes the most sense based on the life you want to live? Or are you just following the herd and doing what everyone else is doing without actually stopping to think if anybody even knows what the hell they're doing? Because I hate to break it to you, but most people don't know shit about shit. Most people are driving nicer, newer cars nowadays, but they'll be working until the day they die to pay for them. And even still, when they roll up to a red light feeling like a cool guy in their hot new whip, literally nobody gives a fuck. What a sad existence, my god. You know, I really tried with this video to kind of keep it above bar, a little higher brow, and I can't help but divulge into me being me. But maybe that's why you guys are here. Anyways, as always, I'm very curious to hear your thoughts. If you currently have a car payment, is this something that has been normalized in your brain? Are you just used to having a car payment? Have you been raised to believe that it's normal? And how do you think you would feel if you didn't have a car payment? Or better yet, what could you actually do with that money if you weren't spending it on your car payment every single month? Drop me a comment down below and let me know what you think. If you enjoyed this video at all, please go ahead, hit that like button. Feel free to subscribe. You can follow me on Instagram. Check out moomoo at the link in the description box down below. Other than that, thank you guys so much as always for watching. Remember, nobody gives a shit about your car. Have a good one. See you later. Bye.